This pool float storage system has an upper compartment for pool noodles and side compartments for smaller items, as well as the ability to store a lot of pool floats in the middle here. Today, I'm going to show you how to build one. So after emptying out the box, I like to put everything in order from longest to shortest. That way, I can match up everything I see here with my inventory. All the way over on the left, I have my H tubes. They're the longest tubes. There are 4 of those. Next to those, I have 2 packs of G tubes. There's 4 in each bag, a total of 8 there. Then I have my F tubes. There are about 4 F tubes there in the bag. And then looking at this, I have some D tubes labeled here. And the D tubes are actually misprinted because on the inventory sheet there said there should be just 2 D tubes. However, I am missing some C tubes. I didn't have any C's, and it just so happens that on this one the D bag should have been labeled C's, and then right here are 2 D tubes that are the 2 missing D tubes. If you look at the length of them on the inventory sheet, the 2 D tubes here do match up with the length, and then the 12 that are in the D bag should be C tubes. So that's why it's always important just to kind of put things in order from longest to shortest. Sometimes small misprints happen, and we need to make sure that we've got all of them ready to go for when we build it. The next thing I'm going to do is check out the connectors, because the connectors are important just to identify which ones are which when I go to make my build. I'm going to do these in order. The first one here are the J pieces. They're two-way corner connector, and there should be 4 of them in the bag. They look like elbow pieces, really. Just open this up. They're actually, just 2 openings. They look like an L piece or an elbow piece, sometimes called that, and there should be 4 of those there. What I recommend doing is either writing with a Sharpie on the bag which letters these are, or I just kind of lay them out in order as we see them. The next piece is the K piece. That is a 3-way flat connector. You can see how it kind of just looks like a T, and there should be 2 of those in the bag. Next, we have a 3-way corner connector. That's our L piece, and there should be 2 of those. And then we have a 4-way flat connector. 3 of those should be in the bag, and those are labeled as M pieces. Once again, I'm just laying these out in order on the ground so it's easy to access when I build them. This is a 4-way corner connector. There should be 8 of these. This is our largest bag that we have, and these are labeled as the N piece. Then we have the O piece. This is the 4-way connector for the wheels. Now be careful with these. There's a difference between the others, and that difference is right here in the middle. You see where the wheel will later on pop in as we do our construction. So set those aside. Don't get those mixed up with the other pieces. This last piece is a 5-way connector, and we're actually going to use those for the feet, and there's 2 of those. Those are our P pieces. And then these are the 2 feet that will later on connect to that last piece we just showed you there, the P pieces. Then we have 4 wheels. Notice with the wheels here, not all 4 are the same. We have the Q piece, those are our regular wheels, and then we have this locking wheel right here. There's 2 locking wheels. We're going to put those on the front side so we can lock the pool storage unit as we get it to a location where we want. Of the 2 mesh bags you empty out, start with the smaller one. Lay it out flat and grab the 4 H tubes. We're going to put the 4 H tubes lengthwise through these longer slots. Now, it's important that, as you can see, it's going to fold up. We don't want these sleeves being on the inside. We want those tubes being on the outside. Otherwise, it's going to be way too tight when we try to put this top compartment together. So make sure that these sleeves right here are facing on the outside, and that is avoid a lot of trouble later on. Next, we're going to grab the D, the C, and the B tubes. The D tube is a little bit longer than the others. It's going to be on that back side for the top compartment. And so I'm going to put the D tube in on both sides first. So over here goes in the first piece, and then I'm going to go to the opposite side and put that D tube in on the opposite side. The next tube I'm going to put in is the C piece. That goes in the middle. I'll put that in on both sides, and then at the bottom I'm going to put in the smaller piece, the B piece right in there. The top storage unit is going to look like that. Be careful, sometimes the pieces do slip out a little bit. And now it's ready for the connectors. So with the connectors, I'm going to start with those elbow pieces we showed you in the last clip with the connectors. I'm going to put those elbow pieces in. And you can see how it's going to fold up. I'm going to switch to the other side and continue with those J pieces, putting the elbow pieces in there. Once again, sometimes these slip out. You just got to slip them back in. And then lastly, to finish this top, we're going to put in the four-way connectors. And we have four-way connectors here because it's going to, remember, it's got to have some long pieces coming out to go to the bottom part of the storage unit. So it's still going to fold up just like this, and we're going to put those connectors right there at the bottom corners. Now with all four corner pieces put together, we can see that our top piece is finished. We're going to set this aside till we're done building the bottom, and our last step will be connecting this top section to the bottom section. Now that the top of the unit is complete, locate the 8 G pieces. These will be the vertical pipes on the final unit. Insert those into the large mesh. While you're working with this large mesh, you can sometimes be confused of which part of the bottom unit you're working with. I recommend locating the Velcro sleeves at the bottom right. Once you've located the Velcro sleeves in the bottom right, you can use the photo and the instructions to kind of find the corresponding parts of the bottom unit that you're working with those in the photos. The next thing we're going to do is take the C pieces and insert those. There are 6 C pieces to insert on this step. The final 2 C pieces will go in those Velcro slots, but we're going to wait to the very end to do that because the tension starts to build as we put this together. The C pieces will be the horizontal bars on the right and the left side. Next, I'm going to take the AE tubes and insert those. These are the horizontal tubes that are on the front and the back side of the unit. The next thing I'm going to do is proceed to step 4 and start connecting my top corners. The L piece is going to go in the top right and left corners in the front of the unit. Remember, if you have some confusion of where exactly the front of the unit is, locate those Velcro pads in the bottom right, and then that will allow you to identify where the right side of this unit is. And then top front is going to get the L piece here. And then in the middle is going to be your K piece. That's your three-way connector there. And then all the way on the left side, we're going to put an L piece in again, another corner piece there. A zoomed out view is kind of showing how it's starting to come together. And I kind of put these pieces in lightly and then I tighten them up as I go around just to make sure I've got them where I want them. The M piece, the four-way connector, is going to go on the right side and left side in the middle. And in the top back right, I'm going to put my N piece. Now remember, these two, the M and the N piece, are different because they have a pipe, or at least a connector, that goes up so it can catch that top rack we built in the first step. In the back middle, we're going to put the K piece. Remember, that's our three-way flat connector. And then in the back left corner, I'm going to put the N piece. That too has a section for piping to go up to the top unit. I had one pipe slip out on me, so I'm going to put it back in. And then now I'm at the top left middle, and that's going to be another M piece. That M piece is a four-way connector. Once again, it has room for a pipe to go out, up towards the top unit. I'm just going to go through and make sure these are all tightly in place as I get ready to complete the bottom. Now I've turned the unit upside down. Notice once again I've made note of where this Velcro side is, so that way I don't lose my place. I'm going to start with an O piece here for the wheels. And remember to keep in mind where that spot is with all those ridges on the inside to insert the wheels. Make sure that they are facing up, and these go on all four corners. As I go around, I'm going to go ahead and connect some of the piping around the bottom to it so they don't fall out anymore. Next, get out the P connector. It's a five-way connector, and almost all the openings have been punched out except for about one. That one spot that hasn't been knocked out, I like to leave it facing up on this, so when I put the feet down, that it doesn't sink through in any case. I don't think it ever will. There's probably nothing you're ever going to put so heavy in here that's going to make it go through, but I like to take note of it. All these spots are knocked out except for one, so the one that's not knocked out, I'm going to leave it facing up. These P connectors go in the middle on the left and right side. So I'm going to go ahead and insert those now. Now on the bottom here we're going to have a crossbar, and this kind of helps with any type of weight from those pool floats. So in the middle, front and back, I need an N connector. That way I can finish connecting the bottom here, plus put my crossbar in. So on both sides I'm going to put these in and tighten up all the edges and put in those crossbars. Now before I put in the crossbars, I'm going to go ahead and put in the C pieces. If you haven't been able to tell yet, there is some tension building in this, and that's why we save that Velcro spot for last, because it's a little bit easier to put everything together now. So go ahead and insert your C pieces and make sure that Velcro is wrapped around tightly on them. The crossbar on the bottom is made up of two long pieces, those are the E pieces, and two C pieces. In the middle is a four-way M connector. Go ahead and tighten these up carefully and finish the bottom frame. With the unit upside down, it's time to put the wheels on. Remember, there are two wheels with locks on them and two without. Put the locking wheels on the front of the unit. Gently insert the wheels until you hear a click. Once you hear the click, you know the wheel is securely in place. After inserting the wheels, insert the feet onto both P pieces. Turn the unit right side up so it's now resting on the wheels and the feet. Locate the four F tubes and place those vertically on top of the unit. Our final step is to place the top unit onto the F tubes. Push it down and make sure it's tightly in place. I like to do a double check over the whole unit and make sure that each tube is firmly placed into the connector. Once checking each connection, your storage unit is now complete and ready for use. Thanks for watching.